after I came to that realization that, man, my family would hurt, then I felt like I was even more hurt and actually just sad and overwhelmed because I felt selfish. Hi there, my name is Elizabeth.
And my name is Ugo.
And welcome to another episode of Youthful Vibes, where we bring fun and enlightenment to the journey of youth. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out more amazing content that we have for you.
Okay, so in this episode, we're going to be talking about a subject that is so heavy, but we need to talk about it, and that is suicide. And we want to talk about how to handle the suicidal thoughts that come to mind, especially with the way the world is today and with everything that's going on. We saw some statistics that over 800,000 people commit suicide every year.
Yeah. And what a lot of people may not be aware of is that September is actually Suicide Awareness Month. And so we just want to bring awareness to suicide. So let's do it.
Let's do it. So what do you do if you're having suicidal thoughts? What's the first thing?
One, I think it's very important to just talk to somebody. In this time, it's important for you to not be alone. It's important for you to, if you've got a friend, if you've got a community, if you've got family, just pick somebody, because you'd actually be surprised how many people are having suicidal thoughts. I've been there. You've been there.
Yeah, and it's not, who must have found that like that? Yeah, but it's definitely something that it's a fleeting thought for some people, but other people, they actually think about it long enough to want to act on it. We both know people, she knows more people than I do, who have actually gone through and committed suicide. All right, so this is by no means a subject that's easy to discuss without it hitting home and hitting home heavy.
Yeah, and what a lot of people also don't know is that of those 800,000 deaths a year, each death is about 20 attempts for someone to actually commit suicide.
Yeah, so they must have tried 20 different times to kill themselves. Just imagine what it would have felt like if somebody had stepped in within one of those attempts. So what we're saying is, if you're having those thoughts, and as much as the gloom and the darkness you feel wants to pull you, like separation and being alone,
to isolate yourself.
Yes, isolation feels very welcoming right now. Our encouragement for you is, don't do it. Don't be alone. Don't allow yourself to seclude into a place where it's just you and your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for those who have friends that are having suicidal thoughts, if your friend has come to you, or if your friend is behaving in a way where they're giving away all of their things, their temperament has changed, they are isolating themselves, it's okay as friends who love one another to go to your friend or to your sister or your brother and say, hey, is everything okay? Like, are you having thoughts of killing yourself? Are you having thoughts of harming yourself? Do you think you're depressed? Because you'd be surprised how many people say, I wish that someone had just taken the time out to ask me how I'm doing. You know, and that will open up just a brand new conversation. And guys, when you're having this conversation, it's important as the listener to not be judgmental. It's important as the listener to not belittle what your friend is going through, because while it may not seem like it's a big deal for you, it is a big deal for them. Yeah. So while we want to be encouraging, you don't want to tell them, oh, you'll power through it. That's not the way to go.
So it cannot be within your wheelhouse to offer the help. That's where listening comes in. That's where you listening with empathy comes in. And you don't have to give them, you don't have to know what to do. It's okay. Just encourage them to seek help. Go with them. Help, encourage them to go to therapy. Encourage them to seek out professional help.
Yeah, and while you're being there for your friend, also know that you've got resources. You have access to the suicide hotline, and you can call that number and they will give you with the resources that you need. They will give you the referrals and the help that your friend needs.
And it's access 24/7. And we're also gonna leave the number in the description box below.
Yeah, and you're gonna see it right here.
So we're gonna go this way.
And to all my Christian brothers and sisters out there, you know that there's always a scripture that's available for you through whatever times you're going through. And for this particular subject, we are going to 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. And it says that in all things, cast your anxiety on God.
Because he cares for you. And it's one of those scriptures that will help you just remember that you're not doing it alone, you're not doing life alone, and you're not, as a Christian, you're not just serving God for nothing for when times are good. When times are bad, you also have him as a person that you can pour out how you truly feel to and feel better.
Yeah. And then the next thing we want you to consider when you're having suicidal thoughts are the folks that you're leaving behind. And I want to come at this from two different perspectives. One, having been the person that wanted to commit suicide, and one, having had a friend actually commit suicide. So I know that as the person that thought about suicide, I wasn't actually thinking about the folks that I was leaving behind. I wasn't thinking about my sisters, and I wasn't thinking about my brother. Like, I didn't come from an abusive family or anything, but what I was going through that time, it felt so heavy. Like, I actually felt like I didn't have a friend in the world. I felt like my family would miss me if I was gone. I felt like their lives would actually be better off if I was not in it, because I was such a mistake. I was always making mistakes. Like, I was not a perfect person. Like, I was a failure. Like, I couldn't do anything right. And so I feel like when you have all those emotions, it's clouded by so much heaviness. Like, you can't see clearly. So you're not thinking about the fact that you're leaving behind people who are hurt, people who felt like if she had just come and talked to me, which, going to the second perspective, I had a friend who shot himself. And it was like, I just saw this person last week. If only they had told me that they were going through this, I could have been there for them. And it's like, just this heaviness that someone didn't think that you cared enough for them to come to you with whatever they were going through, or someone didn't think that you would miss them or that you would hurt if they killed themselves. And so it's very painful, no matter which side you're coming from, because after I came to that realization that, man, my family would hurt, then I felt like I was even more hurt and actually just sad and overwhelmed, because I felt selfish that I didn't consider somebody else's family.
But you don't have to feel like you're being selfish. That's a little bit too much to ask of you at this time. If you're having those feelings, just remember that people will miss you. People do care beyond how they act sometimes. And all it takes for you on your part is to just do it, and you leave. But then you leave a long trail of people who wish that they had an opportunity to do things right. And by the way, another thing to think about is where you're going after you die. Right? That's what, and this is speaking from a personal perspective as well. In the moment, you're thinking that when you leave, the pain stops. But I want to challenge you to think beyond that. After you leave, after the pain stops here, where are you going after? Right? And while the people who you leave behind are mourning, you also have another reality to face once you die here. So where is that going to be?
Yeah.
Next thing I want you to consider is how you feel right now with all the pain that you're feeling. Like we said earlier, your mind is telling you that death is the quickest way out of the pain. But what you really are looking to escape is the pain, not life. You're not looking to escape life. So if you take your own life, what you've done is you've robbed the world, you've robbed all of us of whatever contribution you could have made. Because right now, while the pain seems like it's endless, like it would never stop, like it's always going to be there, you don't see in your mind's eye a future beyond what you're seeing right now. That's why we're saying don't be alone. That's why we're saying don't be wrapped up in your own feelings, because whatever your feelings are telling you might not be accurate. You need somebody else to come in and give you a different perspective than the one that you have right now. You might be reading people's actions incorrectly and saying that you're not loved, or saying that the world's against you, right? But when you do life with somebody else, or when you have somebody else that can listen to you and help you see something, or help you see a perspective that you've not seen or considered, it gives you hope that how you feel right now is not endless, and it's not how it's always going to be.
So this is where I want to urge us to think about the future. And so I feel like it's always best to lead from a personal example. When I say think about the future, that teenage me was not thinking about the person or the contributions that I would have to give into the world today. I'm a nurse. I have my master's in education. I have the privilege of being able to educate other nurses to come into the nursing profession. I am a mom of 2. I am a wife. I am a sister. I am a daughter. I'm able to give to the world in a way that no one else can. I'm able to sit here and make this video. And during that time when I was going through that pain and that hurt, I wasn't thinking about the future. I wasn't thinking of what I would be robbing the world of. The next doctor, the next president, the next congressman, the next teacher, the next inventor. I was not thinking about that. And so I wish that I had someone, you know, that would tell me, think of all the greatness that you can bring into the world. Yes, you may be experiencing pain today, but that pain does not last. So while it may seem like the pain is all that you can see, allow your friend to help you see a future that you can't see right now.
Okay, the last thing we want you to consider is service. Giving of yourself to others. So volunteer at a food bank, at a homeless shelter. Just go to places, go find places where you can help other people who are in need at this time. Even though you don't feel like doing that, doing so, giving of yourself to others, will allow you to see that the world doesn't really start and end with the way you're feeling right now. I would suggest going to another country or going on a missionary trip or a humanitarian trip of some sort, but with COVID going on, that would be ridiculous right now, or probably would be. So just look in your local community and see who might need help. Fight against your natural instinct to seclude yourself and be alone at this time.
Yeah. So it's very important for you to go find a place and plug yourself in and be a part of a larger community. Although you want to be isolated right now, do the opposite of. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope that you have found it to be helpful. Don't forget to share it, because you never know who's going through thoughts of suicide. And if you would like to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the ring-a-ding-ding to tell you when we drop something hot, hot, hot.
Okay, until next time, see ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.